Good morning, THEDAS. Let's fucking go. I am ready. I am joined by my wonderful co-host for today, and that is...
Hi, I'm Asia.
I am Eirin.
Hi, I'm Luna.
Alright. And we are talking about romances in Dragon Age today. Ooh, escándalo.
I like how you surrounded yourself with 3 women.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what can I say? Always the ladies, man.
Good, man.
Alright. Alright, I'll start. Okay. As I said in the first episode, my Dragon Age Origins romance was Morrigan. I just think that the writing for her is so fucking good, and combined with everything that happens in the first game, second game, third game, I feel like she is such a central character to the game that it just makes so much sense to do that and go that way and all that. Plus, you know, she can be cute. It's so nice on the inside. She's got a heart of gold once you work her down.
Well, once you get past the dragon bit, I'm sure she's really nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so.
You just like the tsundere type of girl, I think.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm being low-key attacked right now.
No, it's not. It's just a type.
I know.
It's just a type.
It's just the type, yes.
I mean, I agree with you. I actually just watched that last podcast, and I was listening to the top 5 and worst 5 characters, and like Morrigan was quite divisive, and I actually thought generally she was a kind of a fan favorite.
Me too.
So I was surprised to find out that people don't like her, because I actually think she's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people don't like the way she's a little aggressive sometimes, but like it's part of her charm. Like I don't see Morgan being too nice.
I remember
don't
this.
want that.
I remember starting the games. Like I have feelings about Claudia Black. Like I don't particularly like her. Like I don't like her as an actress. Like everything I've seen her in, I mean, she does her roles perfectly because she usually plays like a character you're not supposed to like. So she does her job really well. I went into Dragon Age being like, oh no, Claudia Black, oh no. And then like at first I really didn't like Morgan, but I like by my because I played all 3 games in order because I started right when Inquisition came out. And by the time I got to Inquisition, I'm like, actually Morgan's kind of cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing the game in 2009 when it first came out, and
Wait.
I was 11 years old.
When you're a tiny child.
So I was like, ooh, ladies.
I think the outfit probably did half of the work there for Morrigan.
I am shocked and hurt that you would say that. What do you mean? But but yeah, she was definitely my first. I don't even remember if I did any romance the first time. Actually, to be fair, the first time the game was too hard for an 11-year-old me, so I actually sold the game.
Oh,
I bought it and then sold it and then bought it again a year later. And then I played through it.
Understandable.
I mean, I played Origins for the first time this year.
Oh, really?
20 years old, and even I struggled on casuals.
It is a very hard game, even on casual.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on Twitter. I forgot who it was because my memory is that of a squirrel. But somebody was like, "Oh, I'm playing Dragon Age Origins. You know, what place should I go to next?" And one of their one of their options was Orzammar, and I was like, "Don't go to Orzammar!
Yeah.
Stay away!"
I did the same thing. I went there first, my first playthrough, and like just instantly died. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
It's so much harder than the rest of the game. If you go there early, you are literally fucked.
I mean, I went there last and was literally fucked. Like, yeah, it's a tough game. They definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like they scaled down the difficulty a little bit with every game. The less tactics that were involved, the easier it got.
Yeah. Oh boy, it just gives me those flashbacks every time I think about it. The Darkspawn, they're coming out of the walls, and I'm just getting my ass beat.
It was between Orzammar and then like instead I reset and then went back to the Fade and did that part, which is also arguably really hard and probably not the first thing you want to do in the game because it's really tedious.
Yeah,
it's really long.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it's more of like a mind thing than it being difficult like gameplay wise.
Yeah,
because you gotta like figure out where to go. I remember I had no idea what the hell was going on, and I just couldn't figure it out because it's like, oh, go to this place, now go back to the first one, and then come back again. And
that's very hard. That's very hard to figure out where you have to go.
Yeah, that's
the one part of all three games now because I still need a guide. Like the rest of them, I'm fine. It doesn't matter. I know what I'm doing in the games, but anytime I get to the Fade, I'm like, okay, and now I open up a browser and I need a guide.
I flip-flop on that because sometimes like I said, I have the memory of a squirrel, but sometimes it's very selective and I know exactly what to do, and I'll get through the Fade in absolutely no time, or I'll be like, okay, I remember like a quarter of this, and then the rest is me just banging my head against the wall. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? At fucking 22, I still can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I did that Fade mission because I went I went to Redcliffe first, and then I went to the Circle in order to finish what we do at Redcliffe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did the Fade pretty early on, and I needed to use a guide because I wanted to do it like 100%, like properly.
Yeah.
And I remember reading this guide and being like, is the rest of the game gonna be like
it's like
it's a lot of courage.
This is a lot.
Yeah. I was like, is this what people like about Origins? Like, yeah, I mean, I was relieved to know that it wasn't quite that complex going forward, but yeah, that's an intense mission.
It's like, do
a few hours.
Do I want to be bullied all day, or?
No, so I'm actually interested to know why you were drawn to Morrigan instead of Leliana, because I think she's often another Origins favorite.
Yeah, I'm meaning to ask you that yesterday when we were talking about this, or day before.
Firstly, I'm pretty sure I didn't know that Leliana existed for a while.
Oh no!
I was a child.
I mean, she literally grabs you in the bar, like that you can't like.
No, I never went to the bar. You can just not go there.
Oh, true.
It's possible. You just fuck. You just fuck right off into the distance, and she'll never know.
Poor Liliana.
I got Sten, but I didn't get Leliana.
The French one was being ignored by the people. I'm offended.
From outside the bar. So. Okay, so that's then.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I got to Leliana, and then I tried to romance with her, and it's good. I just don't think it's as good as Morrigan's, in my opinion. I think Morrigan's is the most fleshed out in the first game, and I think it just works the best.
They definitely have like intended love interests in the first game.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I was saying in the last, I think it was the last podcast, that a male Dalish warden that romances Morgan just lore-wise, fits too well to not do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to the witch hunt and DLC. Everything. It just fits so fucking well that I feel like doing anything else, I'm like, okay, I'll do this, but it doesn't feel as impactful to me.
True. Morrigan Reed, lore-wise, it's the best thing possible.
Yeah, she just fits in like a puzzle piece perfectly.
I don't remember if the default, if I might say, Warden is I know it's Dalish, but I don't remember if it's a girl.
Yeah, it's a Dalish woman who dies killing the archdemon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that the warden died, but I didn't remember if it was a girl or boy.
Yeah, it was a female. But yeah, I think that's that's my origins for sure. And now we'll hop into Dragon Age 2, and I'm gonna get
this
beat up.
Gonna get hot.
Yes, this is where I'm gonna get beat up.
This can go two ways.
Okay.
What you're about to say next.
Whoever I'm gonna get, I know I'm getting beat up by Aja no matter what. My DA2 romance is Meryl.
Okay.
You guys.
Okay.
Now this. Alright, so first off, she's Dalish, which immediately, if there's a Dalish companion, it's the lore, I can't, I need the lore, so immediately...
I mean, that's why I eventually romanced her, so I will give you that.
Yeah, so immediately I was like, okay, I need to romance Meryl. And on top of that, she's a cute little bean, she's adorable, and I like her a lot, and I'm pretty sure that my first couple playthroughs I did romance Isabella, but this is like deep rooted, like how I grew up that determines this. But I was like, yeah, I like Isabella a lot, and she's real hot, but I just don't like the thought of her going off and being a pirate with somebody else. I'd like my lady to be with me.
Yeah, okay, see the idea.
Yeah.
Fair, I think.
Maybe. I don't know, I'm weird. That was just me as a child. I've gotten older and wiser, but still, I just really like Meryl. It's just hard for me to pass her up. She is too cute, too adorable, too sweet, and I don't know. Now, Aja commenced beating me up.
No, I'm not gonna beat you up.
I've presented my face. Now punch it.
I know my feelings for Meryl are out of the norm, so it's okay.
You don't like her either?
I do not like her at all.
I'm
really like her.
between. I think I don't like her very much, but I'm not 100% against her. I just ignore her during my gaming. That's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do now.
Damn, I'm fucking in a corner now.
She's cute. I don't know. She makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I get the feel like she's cute and a bit like naive about the world, and that's kind of cute, I guess. But no, I found her like so annoying that I actually just stopped taking her out.
Yep.
I'm like, I wouldn't even do her personal quests. Like, I wouldn't turn up. I never heard her in her home. Not interested in seeing what you're doing.
I did the quest, but first of all, I remember playing my warden as a mage, and I'm like, I don't want blood magic in my house, never. And then I saw Meryl, I was like, bad idea, really bad idea. So I was a little turned off by that. And after I'm like, yeah, she's cute, she's naive, maybe a little too much, but yeah, okay.
I mean, I was probably a little cute and naive when I was doing it too. So it was. I played it when it first came out, and I haven't played the game in like, oh boy, a couple of years.
It's so good.
I fired it up on the PS3 like 2 months ago, and I started playing again, and then I got distracted by playing Inquisition again.
she's just so casual with the like use of blood magic, and like now that we know what happens if like you use it a lot, even more I'm like, I don't like Meryl.
Yeah.
I remember that I discovered Origin while my cousin was playing it. I was very little when it came out, and I remember when I played the game myself, I knew I saw my cousin playing it because I remember the ogre. And I knew I was very frightened by that by the time. And when I played it, I remember my cousin playing as a blood mage, and when I saw what it does, I'm like, I will never do that. So when I saw Meren in Dragon Age 2, I was a little afraid. Like, it's very dangerous. You can't control it. Even if you want, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, not like in the world we know right now. In the state of THEDAS right now, we can't.
She's just so casual about it, I think. Like, I wouldn't mind if she was all about blood magic, but also recognizing how destructive it could be.
Yeah, like taking it seriously. Yeah.
And kind of, oh, you know, it's just blood magic. Like, get over it. And you're like, no.
She acts like it's very normal to do that. I'm like, no, it's not. Even the dailies don't like to do it. They can do it, but they don't like it.
Yep.
One part that stands out to me. Do y'all remember the part from Dragon Age 2 when Meryl's like, "Oh, I'm just communing with spirits," as she's slitting her wrists, and you're like, "Ah,
yeah,
spirits, huh? Are you sure about that?"
Yeah,
are you sure?
And if she like continues down that path, because like Solas has told us, like the more you do blood magic, the less your connection with the fade, like it lessens.
Yeah.
So she's just gonna have to do more and more, and it's like, this is so destructive. Oh my gosh, no, I don't want this.
Problem.
I don't want this.
But yeah, despite all this. Oh, good.
I was just wondering if she had any dialogue in the quest with Hawk's mother. Does she ever mention the blood magic being used there as being different to the one she's trying to use?
I feel like there is. I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of sure that there is.
Like she's trying to justify it.
Again, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that like there is a way to like say something to her.
Yeah, because I feel like it would probably add to my dislike of her if she was like willing to make the distinction between, you know, what the guy's do. I can't remember his name. What the guy's doing and what she's proposing to do.
Yeah.
Again, it's been a long time, but I'm really sure that there's something.
Yeah, there's got to be, right? Like you couldn't not.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to my Inquisition. I promise.
You definitely have a type. I'm just saying.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've never been told that.
Predictions.
What's my type?
You like the Tsundere, because like I know who your Inquisition one is, and it's the same type of thing.
I feel like Meryl is out
Meryl
of
isn't. Meryl isn't. That's true.
Yeah, it's Cassandra.
Oh wow! Big shock.
This is what I'm saying.
Well, a little reminder that when you play a male Inquisitor, you don't have many romance options.
You don't. You really fucking don't. Yeah. I don't know why.
You have Josephine or Cassandra, so
and Bull and Dorian. Like, if you want to romance a female, then you don't have any.
And you have Eirin Bull too, but
female Inquisitors has way more romance options.
If you want the most romance option ever, you play as a female Lavellan and you have almost everyone.
Yeah. But out of the two options that I was interested in, I've tried Josephine, and I don't think that it's bad. I just don't think it's as interesting, and I feel like any romance that's outside of a party member can't be as interesting as a companion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I chose Cassandra. I like her character, and I love just like the same thing with Morgan. I love how it's like, oh, inside she can be real nice and lovable and all that. I also love picking on her with Varric because it's a fun ass time.
Yeah.
And that quest is the fucking best.
It is probably the best personal quest in the game.
It's so great. I love Varric. Varric makes everything better.
We all love our dwarf.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. And just I love the sappy, adorable fucking romance scene when you're in the that little forest area or whatever, and you're reading poetry. It is adorable, and I am weak for adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, also I really like Cassandra's acting. I love her writing. She fits in really well. I feel like the only person, in my opinion, that like fits the story so well to be a romance is Solas, and that's not happening with a male Inquisitor.
Yeah, I feel like if Morgan is the origins canon romance, then Solas is your Inquisition canon romance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
If I was charting out a canon, it would probably be Solas. Depending on how I'm feeling, but I definitely flip flop between Cassandra and Solas because come on, the Solas thing it's just too good.
Yeah, I would think that it would be Cullen.
I've never done Cullens, to be honest.
Cullen is when you are when you're a female Inquisitor, you kind of see that he's interested by you.
He's
even
very
if
interested. Yes, exactly. He's crushing.
Yeah, when you come back from the final boss, like you see your 3 counselors, and the only one who has a very tiny scene with you is Cullen, and you're like, but I don't romance you, and you were not the big thing, so why do I have that? And when you romance him, you see the hugging thing that's really too cute, and I'm like, maybe it's kind of canon too.
Yeah.
I imagine that in the BioWare canon, it's not going to be Solas romance, only because the Origins canon is the Dalish female elf that dies. So I don't know if they do Dalish female elf again as the Inquisitor.
The Inquisitor canon I have to keep is
I think it's
female Trevelyan.
Human. Yeah, it's a female human. So that's why I'm saying it would probably be Cullen.
Yeah.
Well, we have to keep in mind that the canon, if we look at the tapestry, doesn't have any romance.
Gotcha.
Like you have no one romanced, and in Inquisition you basically recruited nobody. Like you have Cassandra, Solas, and Varric, and that's all.
I have a feeling that they're maybe they didn't roll out the full canon in the keep yet. I like to wait for the books because usually the books officially tell you everything.
Oh, I'm currently finishing The Winter Nights, and I wrote the comics, so I need to finish it.
I'm not even close to being done with it. I finished the first part.
If I have to do a book club, I'm gonna make sure that everyone reads those books.
Oh yeah.
Is either the first or second one? Which is the second one? The one with the mage and the elf escaping the Kunari camp?
Miriam and Strife are the first book. The Kunari one.
That's the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick Weeks wrote the first one and the last one, and that's the first one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first one.
So I finished the first one, and then I put it down, and then I was like, oh, this is so good. I'll come back to it. And I haven't come back to it because I've gotten so busy. I've been doing literally everything else.
Yeah.
I had like mixed feelings on To Winter Nights, like maybe controversially. So, like, I won't say any spoilers. I read all of the other books literally within a fortnight, like every single one except the comic. I couldn't put them down. I couldn't get them fast enough. Like, I was just like obsessed. And then I got To Winter Nights, and then I really enjoyed a few of the stories in there, but some of them I really struggled to get to the end with. It was a weird experience, and I don't know. I hope you enjoy it more, them. But
I had the same problem with it. It's not just you.
Writing was kind of slow. I didn't really buy into the characters, so for me there were some like standout books. The first one and the last one are two of them. But yeah, I enjoyed the first one as well. But yeah, stick with the books if you can. But that was just my personal experience of To Vincent.
It's worth reading for the Crow stories. Like, the Crow stories are really good.
I've heard that it's really good. I've heard a lot of good things.
And you have a lot of lore inside it. Like, you have a lot of hints about Dragon Age 4, and I'm kind of digging into that for this. But if I have to pick one Dragon Age book that I love, I like The Calling so much. And I was a little upset. Like, sometimes I closed my book and I was like, I want to punch you, Merrick. You piss me off.
I have not finished The Calling yet. Again, I've finished Stolen Throne.
That's good.
And Asunder. And the rest of them I've like read chunks of, and I just got to go back because every time I start reading them, I'm like, damn, this is so good. I feel like playing the game now. And then I play the game, and then I forget to go back.
Stolen Throne made me replay Dragon Age Origins. I still killed Loghain for some reasons, but I understand him a little more. So even if I don't excuse him.
Changed my entire opinion of Loghain. Like, it completely 180'd when I read that book.
Yeah.
I
have this thing.
Him after Origins.
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry. I was just saying that I hated him after Origins because I didn't really know much about the lore or whatever. So I just saw this betrayal, and I was like, who is this asshole? And I forward to the Landsmeet, and then I could have my justice, and that basically became my only goal. See him suffer. And then I read A Stolen Throne, and I was like, man, he ended up being one of my favorite characters in that book because him and Rowan were done wrong. I just wanted them to be together and to be happy, and that I definitely am glad I read that book for sure.
That's why I make him my warden now. So.
Yeah, that's why he was on my top 5 list. That's why now he's always my warden as well. It's either him or Shroud. I hop in between them, but it's mostly been Loghain lately. But my biggest problem with it is that I can't go back in Dragon Age Origins and do it myself because I can't bear Alistair getting angry with me.
He gets very mad.
I know. Oh god.
It's understandable. I understand his feeling because Loghain killed his brother. And kind of betrayed Marek by this, and that's why when I read The Stolen Throne, I really like Loghain in it, and I really like Loghain writing. It's insanely good. But I'm still killing him he kills Kaelin.
Yeah.
I want the redemption, but Alistair getting mad at me, I can't stand it. I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't play the game personally and do it, though I'm the keep takes away all emotional impact. Thank you. I don't have to experience getting yelled at.
I mean, honestly, it is very entertaining to make him the warden and then play Awakenings, because then he just randomly shows up and he tells you that he's working on Orlais now, and it's like, haha.
Yeah. I love it.
He's the most unlucky character, let's say.
Yeah. I also, although I don't like the idea of Alistair getting upset and yelling at me, the reason I make Loghain my permanent Grey Warden now is because I do like a level of tragedy in my stories. So I do like the thought that after all of that the Warden, the Grey Warden, and Alistair had a little bit of a falling out over that. So there is a little bit of tragedy, because I know Alistair is fuck you, I don't even know if we could be friends anymore.
And then becomes a drunk.
Yeah, I don't go that far. I still make him king.
Oh, man. I only learned about that 2 weeks ago, and it broke my heart.
Yeah, I didn't know about that for the longest time either, because I'm not a monster.
Look, okay, I was doing the worst playthrough, purposely making all the worst choices because I cannot bring myself to do them. I'm one of those players that always has to do like the good choices.
Yeah,
but I was like, I'm going to physically do all the bad choices instead of put it in the keep, just because I want to see what happens.
I couldn't do it. I can't. I would physically shrivel up and die.
The hardest part was drunk Alistair. Although, like, to be fair, when you actually encounter him, it's mean, but it is kind of funny because he just is like, it's all Morrigan's fault.
Everything is Morrigan's fault. Even if he's not a drinker, it's always Morrigan.
Right? It's like, it's not Morrigan, honey. I'm sorry. and Tegan does find him. Like, if you keep talking to him throughout Dragon Age 2, Tegan's like, here, why don't you come with me? And so, like, I like to think that Alistair does have a good ending.
Yeah, hopefully. My canon thing is Logan survives and Alistair marries Honora. So that's what I've been keeping as my canon. Anyway, I have finished my options now, and we can move on. Aja, would you like to go next?
I mean, I could. None of them are going to be a surprise.
That's why I wanted to go next.
Okay, so my origins... Okay, to be honest, origins for me, like, forever and ever, it was Alistair. And then about a year ago, I just on a lark, because I was like, I'm going to romance everyone, was like, I'm going to romance Severin. I think he's really funny. This is going to be great. This is a pattern, by the way.
And now your canon romance is Sten.
It would be if I could, believe me. I love him. Oh my gosh, that's another story. But yeah, it's Severin now. Severin, fun fact, in all of 4 of the pairing options and origins, Severin's the only one that stays with the Warden throughout.
And you see it in position.
Yep. Yeah. So he's very dedicated. I know he's very flirty and blah, blah, blah. But once you actually get in a relationship with him, he is in it all the way. It's actually why he panics, because he's like, I feel too much. This is weird. I need to, like, back away. And, but yeah, his is very, very sweet. And it's very weird because the game wants you to default to Alistair as a female. So, like, even if you're not trying, he still gets jealous. There have been times when I get the jealousy conversation. I'm like, Alistair, you need to chill. I think, like, because of that, and then because of things that Alistair says, if he's unromanced and you still do the Dark Ritual and Inquisition, like, it's completely turned me off to Alistair, which is how I could kind of be like, hey, Alistair, guess what? Logan's going to be the Warden. Okay, bye.
This poor man.
I still like him. Don't get me wrong. It's just my views on him have changed.
Yeah. When he's not romance, he can be very childish,
yes,
if I might say. Well, technically, he's a child. He's what, 19, 20?
Yeah, he's still, like, super young.
Yeah, so is the Warden. Warden's also like 20.
Warden, I think it depends of the origin.
Really?
Oh, I think I've heard that too.
I think the mages are a little younger, so 1 year younger, if I remember well, and the others are kind of the same age. And I don't know if the dwarven wardens aren't a little older than him.
Yeah.
I need to read that. I think the dwarven ones are a little older.
Yeah, I remember reading this a while back. There's definitely some varying age, but it's all, like, between, I think, like, 18 and slightly over 20.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 20, 22, something like that. So.
Yeah.
But just picking up on the like, you say you switched on Alistair once you had romanced Severin and you'd seen a different side of Alistair, and this will like continue to impress me with Dragon Age games, is that you can have such a vastly different experience of a character based on even the smallest decisions you make, and like almost no 2 playthroughs are the same in that regard. And I just, like, it just blows my mind every time that you can have such a vastly different outcome, and you can see a completely different side of people based on your romancing, your dialogue options, and things like that. Like Zevran, for example, I didn't like because of his constant innuendo, but I have heard that he is like a real softie and actually a really nice guy if you romance him. So yeah, it continues to just it blows my mind that the characters are that nuanced and they're that sort of multi-dimensional. That we can have those experiences. It's just really cool.
The only thing I wanted to say, but it's funny that you're like, oh yeah, all these outcomes and all that, and I'm over here doing the same exact thing every single time.
Okay. It's okay.
I know, it's just funny because it's possible to have all these outcomes, but if I play the game, I do the exact same choices every fucking time.
Don't get me wrong, I'm the same. Like, when I try something new, it's because I'm like, why not?
I just find
it's like watching a film you've seen 100 times. Like you know what's going to happen, you know all the lines of dialogue, and you're still going to watch it anyway.
Like that's actually how I ended up romancing everyone in Origins and Inquisition, because I had gone through the same romances so many times that I'm like, I should like try something else, see what happens.
I did the same with Zevran like last week, something like that. I finished it last week with Zevran.
Yeah,
it's so good. Did you deny the earring?
No.
Even like if you deny the earring, it gets even better.
Oh, okay. The only thing I knew is that if you want the romance option, don't sleep with him. That's the only thing you don't have to do. If you sleep with him, you're screwed. You cannot have him.
Oh no, you still can. You still can.
Yeah, but it's harder because I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Like knowing Zevran, you're like, no, I want to show you that I care. I don't want just that. I want you. I don't want I want the whole thing. So that's what's really interesting with Zevran.
He has a mini freak out if you do.
Yeah.
Because he's like, wait, I actually care about the warden. Oh no.
that I find this so cute. I'm like, okay, you're too cute. He's very cute.
John Curry does such a good job. So like, for those who don't know, John Curry's also the American Inquisitor voice.
Yep.
It's the same guy. And it's like, it's hard to be like, wait, what?
That man's got range.
Oh, man. Okay. I will go on to Dragon Age 2 and not shock anyone that my favorite romance is Fenris.
Yeah, as expected.
Yeah, we had a long conversation about this already, but his is very sweet. I usually play as a mage, so you have that extra layer to it of him being very, very conflicted about falling in love with a mage, because he just is like, no, I can't do this. Yeah. Plus, like, it gives Hawk another perspective on things, where Hawk's been fearing the Templars for his or her whole life, and then Fenris comes in and is like, no, you need the Templars, and it's a good dynamic.
Yeah, I get it. It's a good little dichotomy.
Yeah. Plus, like, by the third act, like, he gets... because Anders is just still constantly trying to flirt with you, he gets very protective, and it becomes very funny.
Oh, yeah.
I heard apparently there's a way you can set it up where you either have a romance scene or you sleep with one of them, and then you can go back to the other, and then the banter that follows is like really funny. And they make comments about like basically like sloppy seconds. It's
oh no.
I would find it if you can on YouTube or the wiki or something, because it's literally the best. Like they will make jokes out of each other. Like, oh, she came to my bedroom first, stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
I don't know what you have to do, what specific decisions you have to make to arrive there, because I haven't done it myself. But it sounds quality.
I know there was something similar to that, because my first playthrough, I actually slept with Isabella first, and then got ninja manced by Anders and was kind of trapped.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Well, because like if you try to shut him down, like Hawk literally says like after they've been together, like I'm gonna go get a sandwich, and I just felt bad. Like, okay, I'm gonna reset and not say that to him, and then it's like, oh boy, now you're locked in this romance, which you can never escape. It's like,
I go,
Thanks.
hey Anders,
Thanks,
go
Anders.
fuck yourself. Anders can go get fucked, and not in that way.
But yeah, like you mentioned about like the weird sort of Mage Hawk Fenris relationship and how the conflict comes up with Fenris in a romance with a Mage Hawk, and I guess I wanted to see some of that with, and I'll get to it later, but with a Cullen and Mage Inquisitor.
yeah, it's just one conversation, and then that's it.
Yeah, he's so open and ready for a mage relationship, given what happened like less than 10 years prior. I would have loved some of that Fenris stuff to feed into the Cullen romance and Inquisition, because I think it's a really interesting dynamic to have kind of a mage hater romancing a mage. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I remember that I played as the Elven Mage in Origin, so I saw Cullen. I even used the mod for the Cullen romance right now because I need that in my life. Like I needed that. I needed that for my character lore. That's perfect. And I was a little disappointed when I saw that Cullen was so accepting about a mage. Like, dude, that was rude. Like, I saved the mage and let the temple die. Like, dude, you're traumatized. Like, you cannot accept that easily. So there's the little thing I have to say about Cullen's romance in Inquisition. I kind of wished that was a little more like Fenris.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had actually not played either of the two games before I played Inquisition, and I was a mage Inquisitor, and I romanced Cullen first. So I didn't know that he even had that background. I didn't even know he was in the other games. And then I was reading into his wiki, as you do when you like immediately fall in love with someone. Like, oh, he's at the tower and he's tortured. Oh, he was at Kirkwall and saw all that stuff that happened. And I was like, he was easy. Like, how did he put up no resistance to a mage inquisitor? He was ready to go. He has put all of his trauma aside. He is quite happy to just, and I found that once I read about his backstory, I had the same feeling. I thought there should have been more, at least if not pushback, just more conversation about about
just
his
like
past, trusting you.
Like just one conversation of him being like, "Hey," because like when you try to bring it up, he's like, "I don't want to talk about it," and it's like, okay.
After I just say that, did I give you this impression? Of course I have. Yeah, but you didn't, and that's the problem. You should have done this. You should have given me this impression.
Yeah,
he should have expressly said, I don't trust you. I don't want to romance you. You know, just something to indicate that whole, all of that development he went through in Origins and 2, like meant something. But because we get Inquisition and he's so easily romanceable, it's like none of the previous events mattered in his character arc, which was missing for me. It sort of missed the mark slightly.
I think that's also. So I'm not 100% sure. But that's maybe because he saw that the Templars aren't perfect either, so he's maybe a little more balanced with his opinion. But again, we don't really have this impression in Inquisition, so that's why we're missing pieces there.
Yeah.
I guess, the Dragon Age 2 Hawk is canon mage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So presumably he's sort of formed that friendship over those sort of 6 or 9, I think he's been there 6 years. And so maybe that's part of his, I don't know, how he's more able to trust a mage nowadays. Nowadays, like it's right now. In real life. So I'm thinking maybe because the Hawk in DA2 is canon mage, perhaps that's part of why he's so accessible as a mage inquisitor.
All right.
Yeah,
that
so
was good.
last one, again, unsurprised by anyone, is my favorite romance of Inquisition is the Iron Bull.
Yeah, hashtag ride the bull,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ride the
but
bull.
here's the thing, though. I don't like. That's not why.
Yeah, I know. I just like saying
Of
it.
course.
There's, as I explained on the previous episode we did, I did it on a lark because like I was trying to romance Solas and it didn't work, and I'm like, well, I'm halfway through this playthrough. I'm sure Bull will let me romance him. Blah blah blah. It won't take that long. But there's the second romance scene that you get at the end of the game, like right before you fight Corypheus. Depending on how you like which interactions you choose, can become like one of the sweetest romance scenes of the game. Because if you bring up like, hey, thanks for like being with me and blah blah blah, and you know, if I die, like it tears him apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More so like it's on the level of Cullen being like, please come back. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do if you didn't come back.
Yeah.
And like you never see Bull like that broken. Like he literally katoes that conversation. He cuts you off. And he goes, Kato, I can't talk about this. You're coming back. No. And like that hit me right in the freaking heart.
Yeah.
I have to look it up and look at the romance because I've only seen the funny part.
Yeah, there's a funny interaction where like the Inquisitor would be like, "Oh, I thought we were gonna get married," and Bull like freaks out. But
I've seen that one.
Yeah. That one's really funny. But like, if you do the like, if we don't survive this, like it breaks him. And then if you take that into Trespasser, like he is not doing well watching the Inquisitor like slowly die. And as Trespasser goes on, his tone of voice becomes a little bit more like worried, to the point where he even like says he starts using words that he only uses in private, and yeah, it's heartbreaking, but it's so good.
Yeah, he's an excellently written character, and I love it.
That's what I like about him.
Does a good job on his voice as well.
Oh yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. is.
I found out it was him. I like couldn't handle it. I was just like, I just couldn't picture it for no reason at all. I didn't believe it when I found out it was him, and he just does such a good job on his character.
For sure.
But while we're still at the voice actor, I was currently playing Mass Effect 3 again, and seeing Vega was like, okay, just give me Bull. I don't care about Vega. Just give me the real Bull. Like, wow.
There's a reason why Jimmy Vega is always in my party in Mass Effect 3.
He's too funny, and and now I can see the real thing that made me think about Bull in Dragon Age. So I always take it with me.
It's funny because Freddie Prinze is also in Star Wars Rebels as the main character, and as that story progresses, the character Kanan, like a lot of stuff happens to him, and as that happens, like the Bull voice slips more and more into his character.
Yeah.
To the point in the last season, like this one thing happens to his character, and I was watching it with friends, and they like didn't believe me it was still Freddie Prinze doing the voice. I'm like, oh no, believe me, it's him. He's doing the Bull voice. It's him.
Yeah, I really like that.
Have you seen the there's like a behind the voice acting documentary on YouTube. It's like 3 minutes long, and they interview Freddie Prinze Jr. and there's like some clips of him doing it in the studio, and it's just so interesting. And I think he says he's a big BioWare fan.
Yeah.
So he was super hyped to get involved in Inquisition. But yeah, his voice acting was amazing. Like Bull's just really good, and
yeah,
there's like the range he can go from kind of quite morbid or quite serious. And then, like some of the banter is just so good, and the writing, you say, is amazing. I think they got Bull exactly right with how they wrote him.
Yeah, and when you romance him, that, like Asia said, when you hear it can literally breaks out. You see the spy was breaking down because he loves someone, and I think that's really big for Kunari. Like, even he is very, very frightened about it, but he likes it a lot.
Like, he literally doesn't know what to do because they don't have that kind of relationship in the Kunari. And he's like, I don't know how to deal with this, but all I know is you have to come back.
Yeah, he said, I think he said that the Kunari doesn't really know love because that's not what matters in the Kun.
Yeah. Well, they love their friends, but they don't have love or sex for love.
Yeah, they kind of just procreate, right? It's not for romance.
Yeah.
I haven't yet done an Inquisition playthrough where I romance Bull and sacrifice the charges.
That's what I'm doing right now. It's
gosh, no.
It's
one that's pretty difficult.
It's the hardest thing because like you get the same romance scenes, like that the dialogue changes slightly, but like anytime he's being like super nice to you, you know he doesn't mean it. And it's really hard to play.
Because
crazy.
Yeah, you can start to doubt what he tells you even when you don't sacrifice the charge. Like, yeah, but are you really loyal to me right now? Because right now I don't know.
Like, you won't know until Trespasser, and he tells that it's all like yes or no. But
I remember my little brother going into Inquisition, and he wanted to make a Dwarven Inquisitor, a male, and I was like, okay, with your romance, you only have 3 choices, so that's not big. He picked Bull.
I mean,
I was laughing I was laughing so hard, and he sacrificed a charge because he wanted the military option, and the Trespasser was so mad. Why does he betray me? You killed this man, you dumb. Of course he doesn't trust you.
You killed the thing that was keeping him, or like that was making him start to question the Qun. Like, you can't take that out of his life and then have him not stay with the Qun.
In fact, I think that when you kill the charge, you kill Iron Bull, and you only have the I don't remember his Kunari name.
Hisrad.
Yeah, thank you. And when you choose to save the charges, you save Iron Bull. So I think that's the feeling I got, that you killed Iron Bull if you sacrificed the charges.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
And after Trespasser, I cried.
Yeah, definitely an Inquisition, just because it's the one I remember most easily. But there's always like this question: if you could relive moments in like games or movies for the first time again, which ones would it be? And there are a lot of Dragon Age moments that I would love to experience again for the first time, just because, for me, a lot of it was actually spoiled before my first ever playthrough. There's a number of things that happen where it is like genuinely shocking. And I think that definitely the repercussions of the charges decision, because playing the base game, you really wouldn't have really felt like there was much of a repercussion. And it's not until that moment in Trespasser where you're like, I screwed up big time. So there are a few moments like that I would love to experience again for the first time.
Like, for me,
I'm looking forward to Dragon Age 4 in that regard, because I know they're going to fill that game with like similarly difficult decisions and similarly serious results, and I am just so hyped for being like shocked and
Yeah, man, I can't wait either. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, where are we at next?
Who's going next?
I can. No problem with that.
Okay.
The only thing I want to say is that I first played Dragon Age Inquisition, even if I knew the other games. So that's why I picked some different things along the way. So for Origins, the first one I romanced was Zevran, because I totally forgot about Alistair the first time. Like, I talked to him, but since I sometimes made decisions he didn't like me at all. I don't know how I managed to do this. I don't remember how. But even though I really, really love Zevran, I romanced Alistair with my Surana, and he's definitely my canon, my favorite one. And I let him stay with the warden. Because I don't know, even if he says that if he feels that Ferelden needs him, he will become king, but that's not what he wants. He doesn't want to be in the shadow of his brother and father, and he doesn't want to be known as a bastard king. That he's a good warden, and in Origin is a very sweet boy, even if it gets easily jealous a little too much. But you can see the young adult / teenage boy he is. And I really like that about him. And he's a very good support for the warden. Morally, he is very cute with it.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing I like the most is in Dragon Age Inquisition. Because in Dragon Age 2, you see him with Carver for me. Because Carver became a warden with me. Yeah.
Yep.
And when he gives away what my warden gave to him, I'm like, she is not dead, is she? No. If she died, he would have become a drunkard. He wouldn't stay warden. She wouldn't. And I don't think he does.
If we were playing on PS3, like, there's a bug. Because Zevran also talks about the warden if they were dead.
Even on the PC version, you don't have the feeling that the warden is alive when he gives away the thing. I was a little preoccupied with this, but when I had
Dragon Age 2,
yeah,
when you see Alistair, he gives a gift. Doesn't he say, "Oh, this once belonged to my wife, but she finds stuff like this everywhere"? Or is this a different dialogue?
That's that one. That was something from a dear friend of mine. He doesn't say he romanced her. That I remember. I don't think he says it.
I think it's just a bug, like a flag bug that you have to have one of the.
I have this all the time I'm playing. Like I'm like, you romance her. She's not a friend. Like she's not your friend. You stay the warden for her.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had that because I've never made a Dragon Age 2 thing where I've romanced him. I've romanced Alistair, but I've never gone into the second game with that data.
Yeah, since it's my canon for me, that's a little normal for me, and it makes me laugh because since I made a Serana and that in my head my Serana had a crush on Cullen. I'm like, she has a sweet thing for Chantry boys. She has something for Chantry boys for sure. Because Alistair and Cullen are a little similar in some ways, so it's kind of cute. Especially in Origin. Okay, that's basically the same kind of character. And that's also why I killed Loghain, because since I was an elf and that I didn't know I could be queen or I couldn't be queen, I was very upset about it. And I was like, okay, and after I read the Stolen Throne, I thought I could change my mind, but when I saw the old picture with Loghain, I was like, okay, I will try something. I will see if I kill him or not. And after I just thought about Alistair and was like, okay, I will kill him. I can do that. But I do it with a duel thing, and I make Alistair challenge him and duel. Like to me, at least he does. I don't want to execute Loghain because he doesn't deserve execution. At least he dies with honor, kind of honor. So that's, to me, it's better at least this way. But I would have recruited him if Alistair was nice. And in Inquisition, the way he talks about the Romance Warden, just
oh yeah, it's heart wrenching.
My love will find a way. Yes, she was.
Oh my gosh.
So you should have come with her, like Zevran did. You should have been there.
I love how all three of you at the same time squeed hard as fuck. Like, Zevran!
Yeah. But he's too sweet, and you see how much he grew up in 10 years, and that's amazing, because right now, the Alistair from Origins would never have speak up and say, I don't want that with the warden, especially not alone. And that's what's a little weird. Like, is he really the only one who said it was a bad idea?
Yeah.
Like, when you recruit Nathaniel Ogren, at least Ogren, dude, he wouldn't let someone do blood magic on him. Like, at least Ogren will never load it. But Nathaniel, I think he wouldn't either. But I was like, okay, where are the other Further Wardens? Like, okay, they're all demons right now, or no, just Alistair.
My headcanon is that Nathaniel went with the Warden. Just because Nathaniel was like, well, I'm not staying here, so I might as well just go with you.
Nathaniel's great.
In my head, Nathaniel is the closest advisor to my Warden, because Alistair doesn't want that kind of responsibility.
Exactly.
And he's better on the field. Alistair is better on the field with Carver, with the recruits and all. I picture him like this. And so I really don't picture Nathaniel saying, okay, our chief is not there, so let's listen to the Orlesian Warden who wants us to be experiment for blood magic. No. Like, nope. And I'm kind of happy that Alice's really stand out for this. Like, no, I won't do that because that's not what we have to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cute. Even if the decision between killing my Hawk and killing Alistair was kind of...
The question is, before we move on to your Dragon Age 2 person, did you kill Hawk or Alistair?
So, when I spent at least 2 hours on this decision, no kidding, I was freaking out. I couldn't do that. And first of all, I think Alistair would have died. Like, he couldn't survive in the Fate. That's nope. Mm-hmm. Even if I know that the comics canon is also canon when Alistair is a Warden, because he says it in the Fate.
Mm-hmm.
He said he saw his father, so he can, but I don't think his will would be that strong if he stays for the nightmare. Hawk could definitely go out of the Fate because Hawk is just a freaking hero.
Yeah.
And after I thought about the romances, my Hawk hasn't quite defined romance right now, but both of my choices wouldn't let the Inquisitor get off with it. They would have come and say, what did you do? But I thought about my Warden who is fighting for saving the Warden, trying to end the Blight and trying to save everyone at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about Alistair saying, I will be with her forever this time, I couldn't kill him, so I killed Hawk. But to me, Hawk won't die in the Fate. He can't die in the Fate.
Yeah.
So I killed Hawk, even if I didn't really want that. But I think Hawk can survive. So.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. All right. Let's. Who do you got on the chopping block for Dragon Age 2? Who's your romance?
Yeah. So I played as a female mage, so it depends on how I interact with people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm between Fenris and Anders, but it depends on how I romance each of them.
Okay.
So I try to romance Fenris as a friendman right now.
Yeah.
Because even if I like the Revelments, I really like to see Fenris being sweeter and sweeter with a mage.
Yeah.
Because it's still struggling. But that's too cute. And I don't know, Anders is the tragedy incarnated. Like, really.
He's definitely tragedy.
Yeah, he's all the bad thing that could happen. And I kind of like him for that. Especially since Awakening, you see, he doesn't have bad intentions, just that he thought he could do it and he just messed up because he didn't listen.
Yeah.
And also because the Warden should have let him keep his cat.
They just let him keep that cat. So many things would have been solved.
He would have been fine.
Yeah, I was like, why my Warden didn't let him keep his freaking cat? She gave it to him.
I don't think she's the one that made him lose it. I think is the
She was still the commander.
Yeah, but she went off to go do her own thing. So I imagine it was like during that timeline they made him get rid of it.
Because he fled not really long after she departed, I think. That's something that's really... That's why I usually romance Fenris. It's also because in Awakening, I noticed... I don't know if it's only the French version of Awakening, so maybe it's that. But when you have the maximum affinity with all your party members in Awakening, you have Nathaniel, who is good friend, I think, in French. I think it's that. And Anders doesn't have the same title under it. It has love. And I don't know if it's the same in English. I would have to check that. But when you check the affinity, he's in love with the warden, even if he doesn't say so. In French, that you see love right in, and I was like, what? Like, what? Like, okay, you know that my warden is already taken by Alistair, right? Like, no.
French BioWare is trying to sneak in some stuff there, huh?
Headcanon that Anders easily falls in love, confirmed.
Well, maybe they changed it, but I remember that pretty well. I was pretty intrigued by that. Like, okay, is he in love with the warden? I'll have to check again, but I definitely remember this.
Anders will love anything that has two legs.
I think it's more of Anders will love anyone who is in a place of power that can get him things.
That too.
Yeah. That's why I romance Fenris too, because even if I didn't kill Anders, even if he maybe deserved it, because in my head I was like, if you weren't already a warden, I would have sent you to the warden. But you already are. So
you're already a son of a bitch. So.
But yeah, but I'm pretty sure that my warden would just look at him and, dude, I tried to help you, but right now I can't do anything for you. I won't risk my head. Sorry. So yeah, I prefer Fenris, even if Fenris is quite interesting when you're a mage, and since I always play like as a mage, well. But Fenris won my heart, especially since the comics.
So do you, because I know some people do you rivalmance him or do you friendship?
No, I do friendship, because I did both. And I like the confrontation with the rivalmance, but I don't know, I prefer to see that he's becoming sweeter and sweeter with a mage. Rather than I hate you but I love you too. It's kind of annoying to me.
Yeah,
it's always like this. Like, stop attacking me, and after coming to my room, that's rude, dude. That initial rival romance scene is really good, but then after that, it's like, I don't know if he would be into this. I think that the rivalments won't be a long-term thing, and that's not what I wanted for Hawk. And for Fenris. Fenris deserves better, and Hawk too.
Okay.
Oh.
I like the...
Yeah.
You got a phone?
Yeah. No, it's the ring from my home. That's really loud. Sorry.
It's fine. Alright, so I think it's time we hop on over to Inquisition.
Yeah, if you see my description on Discord, I think that won't be no surprise that I romance Solas. Yeah.
Oh, hot take for Asia's gonna get her dukes up.
Yeah, I think Asia and I are already predictable.
It's okay. I understand why people like him.
I did all the romance. I did all of them, and the first one I did. Actually, I discovered Dragon Age Inquisition randomly because my brother wanted a game, so I bought it to him, and I only had 25 euros on my account on the PSN. And I was okay. I couldn't go to school because I had some health issues, and I was like, I need a game that can keep me entertained for a long time, and I just found Dragon Age on PS3 randomly, and I fell in love with it when I created my character.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I started to play through at the same time because I wanted to do an elf with two kind of interactions. And I romanced both Solas and Cullen, and I went into Solas once I talked to him because I was really intrigued by what he was saying about the Fade. Like, I was interested by what he was saying, and after I just saw that I could romance him, I was like, let's go for it! And after my heart broke.
Yep.
I think the worst part is that I romanced Cullen in the meantime too, and I was kind of happy to have a good love story, the classical one. But I was like, when do I trigger when I lock my romance with Solas? I didn't see when it was. I'm like, I'm almost at the end of the game. Like, let me lock my romance now. And when I saw that the tarot card changed after the breakup scene, I was like, you're kidding me. No, you can't. No, you can't do that. I was crying, and I remember I created my Inquisitor, who is still my canon right now. I recreated her from PS3 to PC. That was kind of hard, but I did it anyway. And I created her with a friend of mine, and so I streamed her Dragon Age by the time, and we were crying with the breakup scene. We didn't understand it. Like, why do you do that? And I played the game. I finished it when Trespasser was out, and PS3 doesn't have access to DLCs. So when I got my PC 1 year after, I didn't spoil myself anything. And I played through Trespasser, and I think I didn't open my game for like 2 weeks because I was so mad. So mad and sad. I was like, no, you can't do that to me.
You son of a bitch.
So I have a question. Would you, in your canon, if it was possible, would your Inquisitor go with Solas, or would your Inquisitor still try to redeem him?
I think she will do a little mix of both. Like, she could have go with him to change his mind, and she will absolutely do that. Because that's the best way for me. I understand his goal, but not how we want to achieve this goal. That's not what we have to do. And that's not a solution to kill everyone, especially since you notice that even he says, he lets you know that he wants to be with Lavellen, but then he would betray his own principle by saying that she's from this actual world, and I want to bring back the old one, but if I bring back the old one, she won't be there anymore, so I can stay with her right now and accept this world. And that's not in his principle, so you can see he's very conflicted about it. That's why he breaks up. And the fact that he doesn't let himself being touched when you have the sad breakup option, but let himself being hit by the Inquisitor when you are angry with him, it's just heartbreaking. He prefers you to hate him, and I'm like, no, dude, that's horrible.
What I found interesting, because I haven't actually romanced Solas yet. I'm doing it now. And what I found interesting is that in the Trespasser dialogue, if you've romanced Solas, the things he says indicates to me that he knows you will die if he succeeds in his plan, and he does it anyway. And I feel like it would have been it's probably like 1 billion hours of development time, but it'd been really interesting to me if he had at least contemplated or offered for you to join him in his quest. Like, maybe your Inquisitor could have said, like, oh my god, this is a really noble, important cause. Can I be part of it? I want to be by your side, blah, 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 romance, mushy stuff. And he could have said, oh no, I don't want you to be in harm's way, something. I found it really interesting when I found out that he's basically quite happy. He's not only strung you along, knowing that it's like not going anywhere, but then he's like happy to confirm that you will also perish if he succeeds. I find that really interesting, but I don't know what the Solas Mancers felt about that.
There's not only that, it says also that if you come with him, you will die too. Like, he says that he's on the THEDAS roll, that's the journey of death. So I think Solas knows he won't make it either. And he prefers the Inquisitor dying happily than dying struggling with what he's trying to do. That's what I think after what he said. So that's maybe the little gray zone I have. I don't really know what he meant for this. And I'm also very intrigued with his relation with Mythal, because that's really strange too.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know about this too.
I'm hoping we get lots of answers in Dragon Age 4, because I think there's a lot of Solas-y questions that we will hopefully get answers to, because there's a lot of loose ends like that. I mean, you raised like the Solas Mythal relationship, and that flummoxed me as well. I was like, how, why are these guys such best friends? Does she know what she's up to? Is she actually, spoiler alert, dead? Yeah. It was really interesting. Yeah, I hope anyway we get answers to those questions. I'm worried that some things will be left sort of for your headcanon to fill the gaps in. But yeah, hopefully we find out more.
I think so. And I don't know how many people had this dialogue in Trespasser that was Solas doesn't want to succeed.
Yeah, he wants you to stop him.
When you say I'll have to stop you, I will be happy to be wrong once again. And dude, so don't do it. Don't make me stop you. Don't make me do that, because I want to redeem you, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
On the back of that, if you were given the option in Dragon Age 4 to redeem Solas or to kill Solas, what are you doing?
I want to redeem him, because I understand his goal, but I don't like the medium. Again, that's the same point than earlier. I understand what he want to do, but I don't like the ways he want to do it. But I understand, especially since you can see that the elves are just treated like shit every time.
I'm interested. What about you guys? Are you going to be redeeming? Or, I mean, it's a bit of a tangent, but redeeming or killing? Fine. Do you think
it will depend on my world state? Because like I do have a Solas romance world state, and I would try to redeem him in that. In like my default, no, I won't be.
So I want to say that I'm gonna try to redeem him, but in Dragon Age 4, if he is just being a total bastard, if he is being a son of a bitch,
he's being Solas, yeah, exactly.
Like, if he's like doing like bad guy stuff, like just full on, just straight up murdering people. If he's becoming a bad guy, depending on how the game goes, I can definitely see myself killing him.
I mean, technically, he's already started, but
yeah,
I'm afraid that we will have to deal with the consequences instead of stopping it.
I mean, if it gets bad enough, is what I'm saying. Like, if it's bad,
it's bad.
From the few images we have, that's already bad. So.
What do you mean? He just killed some asshole Canary. It's fine.
That's not only that, because I didn't read Tevinter's Nights in older, so I won't spoil anything, but I already read the last story.
You read the Dreadwood, thank you. Yeah, let me tell you. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, and I feel like Solas, as we knew him, he's a total jerk when you're not an elf and not romancing him, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently trying to do a female mage to romance Cullen, because I have enough to make a elf and always go with Solas, so I had to make a human for once. And he's kind of rude when he talks to you.
Yeah, he's really rude.
Yeah, I'm a mage too. You don't have to treat me like shit. but whatever.
If you're not an elf, and especially if you're not a female elf, he doesn't want anything to do with
yeah.
you.
He's so rude. I can't understand why people want to punch him in the face.
I've only had one playthrough where he just straight up didn't like me, and it was because I was playing a very Andrastian Templar-loving human Inquisitor.
Ow.
That was my very first playthrough. I wanted to try it, and then that's how it turned out. Every time I've played, he's been fine with me. It's because I choose all the options that I know that he likes.
The only thing that makes me a little frustrated is that I don't know if Solas, as we knew him, is still there. I don't think we will see Solas in Dragon Age 4. We will see Fenrirel, and that's two different things. And the murals we had 2 years ago give me the same impression, because you have the wolf and the bald elf on the opposite side of the fresque. So I'm like, is Solas still there, or is Fenrirel just there?
Yeah,
because that's two different things. Fenrirel is a total bastard, in my opinion.
Kind of controversial. Like I'm so anti-Solas at this point that I feel certain that the Solas we see in Inquisition is a complete fabrication. Like, I don't think that's him, the true him, in any way. I don't think we'll see that Solas ever again, because I think it was a complete facade. And he was like, I'm so anti-Solas.
It's alright. I'm in the same club. It's cool.
I haven't even remembered. I feel betrayed. Yeah, like, to me, every single thing he says and does in Inquisition is his means to his end. And I felt that once the truth had come out, everything he does, regardless of how nice or selfless it seemed in Inquisition, and there might be like a couple of genuine exceptions, everything he does, I felt, was in his own interests. So I think, like, as far gone as he goes, I don't think he's coming back to a Solas we recognize, because that I was going to say that veil has been lifted.
Hey.
Yeah, like that metaphorical veil has been lifted, and I think Solas is too far gone now. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to turn back. He wanted to turn back because he knew that's what his people wanted from him, because he messed up the first time, so he wanted to make it right. But that's what he wanted to do isn't right, and that was the danger with romancing a Lavalin. He was starting to see that this wasn't right, and he didn't want that. So he's really, in his mind, I know what I do is not good, but I have to do it because it's what I am. And that's the big issue I have with Solas. Like, he doesn't like to see that he's wrong. He's wrong, and he knows it, but he doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah, and there's even, he does for a moment in, like, it's one of the conversations you have with him when he's looking up at the mural.
Yeah.
And, like, he breaks for a moment. That's where the hint is. And that's actually where, in my first playthrough, I was like, oh, no. Like, I could see it coming. But I think
like Meredith vibes almost.
Yeah.
Where he believes completely that his cause is just and correct, and like there is no reaching him. So like quite a lot of people will say they would redeem him. I struggle to accept that he is redeemable at this point. I think he's too far gone.
Well, I totally understand, but I'm just like thinking about, we maybe have a Solas and a Fenrirel, and I really hope we can see that he's really breaking up into not knowing what he want to do. And I had this impression with the breakup scene, because he almost told Lavalin, like, what I must tell you the truth. Like, the way the voice actor, who is amazing, by the way, I love his voice, says the truth. You see, one tells you, he want to tell you this. He want to tell you who he is and what he's gonna do, but he knows that if he does that, it's over. He won't do it. And also, he said that he was in slumber during all this time. So when you talk with Morrigan, you know the slumber is kind of weird. You have to have some people watching over you when you sleep. So who was watching over him? Perhaps these people, since he seems to have already some kind of, I don't know how many agents he already have.
Yeah, a lot by now. By Dragon Age 4.
Yeah. You asked what the relationship between Mythal and Solas was. Maybe she's been part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
that, and I'm pretty sure he was one of Mythal followers at first.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was so like, no, she wasn't like the other ones. She wasn't even yours. She also had slaves. So why she isn't like the rest? That's very weird. That's the part I don't understand with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all the same type. If you say I had slave marking. If I had Mythal ones, I was still a slave of Mythal. So you can't say she was different if she acted the same way. Maybe she was nicer to them, but still, her own people were slaves to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
I like Solas' writing. Like that was very clever.
Oh, yeah, for
even
sure.
if you saw it coming, that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Even if I was a little frustrated to not have my love scene correctly, because he and Josephine doesn't have this moment you're happy to see with every kind of character. Mostly happy to see.
what we look for.
Yeah, especially since it implies that it already happened with the Inquisitor. I was like, give me this. I wanted to see this. Why did you give me this? That's implied. That's implied, and I was pretty upset about it. But yeah, I'm a Salamander, and I hope I can redeem him. But I have the feeling with the book and what we saw that there's a turning point that he already took, and I think we're screwed. I'm gonna have to kill him. Pretty sure about it.
All right, so Luna, you are up. Let's see what you got.
So I played the games out of order. I did Inquisition first because I found it on the PS store on sale for it was like £6. It was ridiculously cheap.
Ooh.
So I thought I'll just give this a try. So I played that one first and then fell in love with the game and read more about Origins and 2 and then went back and did Origins. And I've probably had the most vanilla playthrough of anyone. So so you're me, and every single plot decision, everything has been spoiled. I knew everything going into every game, which sucked, but that was my life. So I went to Origins knowing that who the characters were, who sort of were the most common popular romances. So I had really bad technical difficulties running Origins on the PC we've got here. It was just crashing all the time and everything like that. So I went in hoping to do it 100%, every quest, every dialogue, all the DLC, and it became apparent that I was just going to be able to do the bare minimum. So I prioritized the romance and the story. So my Dragon Age Origins romance was Alistair. We've all got things for Chantry boys. So I guess he's it's just such an easy romance. He is playful and flirtatious, and he's just such an easy guy to romance.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sort of already set in my mind that I would romance him from the get-go. So even when I met sort of Zevran and when Liliana started acting a bit thirsty, as we all know she does.
So thirsty.
She is, she does try it. I like your hair. Okay. But yeah, I knew from the get-go that I wanted to romance Alistair. And I really enjoyed his romance. As I say, it was really easy. It was just nice and sweet. I don't like Zevran as a character generally, so that didn't present a competition to me.
Yeah.
So I went with Alistair, and in my playthrough, although I have actually since changed it on the Keep, but in my original playthrough, I was a female rogue noble, and I had married him, and as queen and king of Ferelden. He doesn't want to be king, and I don't think he makes a good king, but I made him a king anyway.
I like him as king too. I think he's great as king. And if you give him a Nora, I think they make a perfect combo of rulers.
And if like he has the warden, I think also because a warden that he would marry would have to be a noble. So like I still think he would be okay. Like I would never make him king by himself.
Yeah, he needs someone to help him.
Yeah, he needs a strong woman
to like knock sense into him when he's being dumb.
Yeah.
Morgan. Because I think at some points we could argue that they are a little bit flirty with each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you could feel that tension. So
get away from my wife.
Get away from my boy.
So this is the thing, like, I was romancing him, and then obviously the dark ritual decision is presented, which I actually don't think I knew about. And I remember thinking, like, wow, Morgan, I thought we were friends. And like, me and Alistair, like, a thing. Like, you just don't try it with another woman's man. And yet she was going all, I need to bed your boyfriend. And I was shocked. I was just like, I don't want this. I don't want to die, but I also really don't want you sleeping with my romance. But I did let her in the end because it's cool.
You don't understand. I need the dick for the good of the world.
I mean, look, maybe it is as powerful as we believe it to be. His romance scenes, I felt nothing personally. But maybe he has got a powerful tool. So I romance Alistair, and I think that's the most, like, it's the nicest one. There's no sort of controversy with it. There's no, it's just easy. So I romanced Alistair, and so Dragon Age 2. I actually messed up the romancing on Dragon Age 2 on my first playthrough because I had heard you could rivalmance, and I thought that sounded awesome. And I was like, I'll go in as a rogue hawk. I will do everything I can to annoy Anders, and we will have this like love-hate relationship. So that was the plan, and then I made errors of judgment in dialogue, and I completely missed the romance option that you have to hit to instigate his romance. And my first Dragon Age 2 playthrough, I had no romance, and as a consolation prize, I slept with Zevran. Because he like popped up, I think after the High Dragon, maybe? And he sort of pops up like, oh, hello.
Yep. Yeah. Hello.
He's like, hello. Something. Do you want to find a bush or something? At that point, I was just so annoyed that I'd lost out on the romance. I was like, shit, sure, let's go.
They really missed out in Inquisition by not letting Zevran have sex with the Inquisitor, because then Zevran would just be hitting all the heroes.
Yeah.
That would have been a really good running gag. I would have really liked it.
Well, if you have a romance Zevran, he actually will not offer that to you.
Oh yeah, if he's romance.
He better not.
No, he doesn't. Like if you try to be like, why don't you and I go? He's like, actually, I have someone. Okay, bye.
Yeah, that's cute. That's the cutest thing.
Yeah, so my first Dragon Age 2 romance was in a bush. So I learned my lessons, and for my second playthrough, I went for Anders. And the reason I went for Anders is just because I dislike Fenris. I don't much like Anders, actually. Controversially, I'm going to annoy two groups in the fandom with that.
I agree with you as well, though. So I'm right there with you.
I understand you too. I romance both of them, and I hate both of them, but I like them too. So I understand you.
Oh wow, maybe there's more of us than I realized.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Fenris, I've just, there's only so much brooding you can take. And I was like, I saved you from your previous owner. I've taken you around to see your sister, and you're still complaining. It's just like a lot of negativity. And when you've just come off an Alistair romance, someone so cheerful and casual, Fenris is kind of a downer. So,
yeah, for sure.
So I went for Anders, and I went for Anders as a mage hawk because I wanted to do this like fun power couple thing where actually she's fully aware of what he intends to do and is actually a willing participant. So yeah, and I mean, I'm still halfway through that. I haven't actually finished it, but I found the Dragon Age 2 romances in general, for me, were lacking in like a lot of ways. So in Origins and Inquisition, you can just sort of tap your romance on the shoulder and say, like, give me a really quick like romance scene, right? Or whether it be a kiss or something like that. But I don't think they have that in DA2.
No.
Instead, they move in with you.
Yeah, which I was really excited by because I thought, maybe I've got like a romance on tap. I can just go my home base.
On tap, huh?
I have a limited supply of romance scenes at my home, which is great. So yeah, you can imagine my disappointment when actually they're very scripted and very specific scenes. So for me, that was slightly lacking because I felt like I was watching a story rather than instigating anything. But I do like how intense Anders is. Like, it's almost weird with it. Like, there's one line he says, it's something like, I would bathe this city in blood before I see you perish, or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is intense. I mean, he's known me like a year.
That's true.
It's okay, because if you romance Fenris, he just gets drunk in his house for 5 years and dances.
Yeah.
Fenris definitely has. He could have tidied up that mansion in the 6 years we knew him.
But like Daenerys owned it. Like he doesn't want to touch that, man. He just wants to live there and be like, "Ha! I took this from you." Ha!
He's just laying in a bed full of cockroaches, and he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck you, Daenerys."
That'll show him.
He lives on spite of Daenerys. All right,
I'm really getting back at him now.
It's like damp on the ceiling dripping on his face, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll think you."
Hawk calls him out on that. Like if you're romancing him, like Hawk will be like, "Why don't you like do something?" And he's like, "Eh."
Okay.
He's stayed at the Hawk estate enough now. It's fine.
Yeah, that's why also, even if I'm between Fenris and Anders, Anders is a little more, I don't know, entertaining than Fenris in some points. Like very extreme Anders, but God, that's almost funny how extreme he can be with Hulk.
Yeah, I agree, and that was part of what intrigued me with his romance, because, like I say, like I was comparing it to Alistair and who I romanced in Inquisition, and they had been so like chill and lighthearted, and then you've got this guy like declaring that he'll like massacre people for you.
Gentry boy to madman.
Wait,
yeah, there are no types developing at this point.
I was about to say, wait, would Anders be in my type that we were establishing earlier?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I go for extremists generally. So when I saw him, I thought it was an instant attraction. So I romanced Anders, and I'm still doing that now. And I think, I mean, as I say, it was more of because I didn't like Fenris, that's why I went for Anders. But I think I'll do Fenris's romance someday just to see what it's like, I guess, and see that sort of softer, nicer, happier side of him.
He does get kind of intense too, so
Really?
Yeah.
At the end, yeah. When he
Yeah.
finally can admit what he's doing, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's better if you do the friendments with him for that, because the
Definitely.
Rivalments is just annoying. It's annoying me, the Rivalments Fenris. It's always conflicts. And I'm like, I don't like your conflicts. I'm going for Anders if you consider like that.
Yeah. The rival mans, it's just it's especially if you're a mage, it makes you feel dirty because he's like he has traded one magister for another basically in his mind, and it's not comfortable.
Yeah, because I was like, my original intention was to rival man Anders because I think that could be really interesting. And I think the rivalry concept generally I found really interesting.
Yeah.
And it might have been cool to keep sort of kind of version of that in Inquisition. But yeah, like rival man's Anders, I would love to try that one day, or at least watch someone else's playthrough. Because I find that really interesting because he is so intense. It might as well be a intense like anti me. He just adds an extra layer of like, this guy's batshit crazy.
And then right at the end, you sink that knife into his back.
Yeah, it just feels just more. Oh, what a reward!
Now this is the sexual release I wanted.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, what does it say about me? Oh my God.
Forget about actually sleeping with him. Murdering him, way more pleasurable.
Yeah. Yeah. I now have a theme. I want to murder Solas, murder Anders. I mean, where does it end?
Murder protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could make a male hawk and then Inquisition, leave him in the Fade, just for that extra.
Oh man.
I did my female oak in the Fade, and I was feeling terrible after this.
Yeah, I bet.
I was so frustrated because I played Origins and 2 on a PC, and I have Inquisition on the PlayStation. So, like, none of my canon choices carry over. But at least they didn't when I was playing Inquisition. So I had this like random male hawk, and I obviously had no idea who it was because I'd never played any of the Dragon Age games before. And I was like, who is this guy? And who's handlebar mustache guy? Like, I don't know. Like, who are these guys?
That beard is beautiful.
Yeah, so I think the first time I played Inquisition, I think I left Hawk because I was like, I don't know who you are. And like one sick mustache, so
yeah.
I was like you. I started Inquisition with almost no clue, and the first time I played in French and the Stroud voice in French, I couldn't stand it, so I killed him for his voice. I'm horrible, I know.
How dare you sound like that, Stab?
Hey, I'm a French girl. I can judge French voices, okay? I can do that. I can judge Orlesian people. I can. I have the right. Liliana has a good voice, even if she is French, so why Stroud is so miserable with it. And after I was like, I don't stand that mustache with the Frenchy English accent, so I throw it anyway.
I took French class for a year, and all I can remember is how to ask to use the bathroom.
I'm telling you, I will have to find a way on the podcast to tell you about the French song I mentioned, because that French language is rude in Dragon Age THEDAS.
Oh boy! All right. Luna, you like to move on to Inquisition?
yeah. Okay, so it's like a running joke with me now, because every single playthrough I've ever done of Inquisition, I cannot help but romance the same character every time.
Ooh.
And it's getting like funny. So when I first played Inquisition, as I say, I didn't know anything about the world at all. I met this kind of patronizing, sarcastic elf. This really hot chick in armor and this dwarf, and I was like, that's interesting. and then I chose to you choose between the mountain path and charging with the guys on the ground, right?
I know it's coming.
And I chose to charge with the army on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And then you sort of walk along with Cassandra, and then like from left stage on comes this this tall blonde guy who's got this wickedly smooth British accent, and he's like, "Oh, you've caused a lot of trouble getting you here," and I was like, "I have to know every single thing about this guy."
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, and I was like, he's got his like amber eyes, this big furry. I mean, it gave me like Jon Snow feel, but with blonde hair. You know, it gave me this like he's like a Stark. He's got this like fur thing going on, and then as you finish that sort of cut scene, he's off and he's helping this wounded soldier with his arm around his shoulder, and I was like, oh my god, who is this guy? And then from then on, I'm not joking when I tell you I was obsessed. So my Dragon Age Inquisition romance every time is Commander Cullen. And do you know what's funny is that like I don't really have a type, but he is not my in real life type at all. Like I don't go for blondes.
So you don't go for Chantry boys?
The Chantry boys in my area are limited in quantity. I wish there were more Chantry. If they look like Alistair and Cullen, I wish we had more Chantry boys in the general population.
Oh yeah.
My boyfriend isn't here, thank goodness. Yeah, so I chose Cullen, and my god, I just love his romance. And I mentioned earlier about, if you're a mage Inquisitor, he's kind of easy. My first playthrough was as a mage, so I didn't realize he had all this mage background, what he went through in Origins, and then again in Dragon Age 2. So I went through as a mage first, and I've done like a rogue ever since, because I just prefer rogue in Inquisition. But I did love his romance. I think he's like this, like to start with, he's this really awkward dork. Like he's just useless. He's like fumbles over his words. He's all awkward and strange. He's like stuttering, and it's just, to me, it's really endearing to see someone so powerful and strong just absolutely lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. And so yeah, I was immediately drawn to this kind of awkward, dorky character. And then just like how his pixels move in a way that he does that smirk, and that smirk, people that have romanced Cullen know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the middle of a meeting of like 50 Shades of Grey, and I have no clue what's going on.
Ethan, have you ever romanced Cullen?
I've never romanced Cullen, no.
Oh,
you should, because you wouldn't see his desk from the same way anymore.
Oh no.
That smirk is so great, because he's just so uncertain, and then at that moment he's finally like, oh, hey, yeah, I do got something.
Oh god.
Yeah. So I guess like the uncertainty, I just totally bought into it, that he was like not sure, is she his superior, or that, how does he talk to her? And I guess I get the impression from the first romance scene that he was kind of interested in you, and you were kind of like developing that, so it didn't feel like I was forcing my romance onto him. Even though like it is your choice. He does sort of, his awkwardness and his sort of dorky behavior suggests to me that he had a before you instigate that romance. Fully, especially before you lock it in. So for me, it just felt super authentic, and the smirk just melts me every time. I actually told some friends this, and they didn't believe me. I have more pictures of Cullen on my phone than my boyfriend.
I love it. That's
a
great.
real thing. I am not proud of it, but and I'm not usually like superficial like that, but my goodness, what a design. And I mean, if you look at him in the art book, he's quite different in the art book, in the concept art. and I'm so pleased that they moved away from that ever so slightly, while staying true to how he looked in like Origins and 2.
I like the thought that he's on screen and he does that smirk at you, and you pull out your white handkerchief and go, "Ah!" and faint backwards on.
I mean, Calvin knows the power of that smirk.
Oh yeah.
Oh he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He acts all dorky, but I think there's more. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you see it when he's a little long to start, but you see it with the first kiss scene. Like he's really timid. Really, he doesn't know if he has to do it because you're the Inquisitor, he's the commander. But once he set up his mind, like I'm doing it, he's doing it. Okay, I like that.
There's little moments of like, I guess I could call it passion, where he sort of drops his guard. Like the first kissing scene, he goes to like do it softly, and he's interrupted. And then you're like, oh, if you have to go, and then it's like, boom, like he's, he's about to have his moment, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh wow, that was a nice passionate moment from this guy who's usually fairly controlled and quite serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shown again, like in the desk, like you mentioned the desk scene, where he kind of just says, like, he just sort of loses control, and he's like, fine, let's just go,
Yeah, especially since right before this scene, he's like, but I don't know if you want to stay with me after. Dude, I told you that like 2 scenes before that I wanted that. So why do you ask me now?
You go, Cullen, shut up, you're too damn sexy to get away.
He's like, but I don't know if it's what you want. Dude, I locked my romance with you. Do you really think I played Wicked Grace against you and I won? Do you really think I don't want this?
Well, yeah, when he runs off naked. Woo.
Yeah,
even earlier in the game, like that first hint, like right after Haven falls, and you have that conversation where he's like, if you died, like that.
Oh yeah.
The voice acting in that line read is just, it's insane. Like, even when I'm not romancing him, I will flirt with him enough to make sure I get that line read in every single playthrough.
Yeah, you mean when
so good.
When they were talking about the secret passage?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying like right after the fall of Haven, when you're first in Skyhold, the first conversation you have with him. Yeah.
Yeah. And you also have this scene right before you tell the people to escape with the secret passage. Is that? But you
that
could
one
die
too.
out there, and you're like, yeah, but I have to do it. And you hear in his voice, and you can kind of see it with the animation of the character that is genuinely worried. He doesn't want you to die. It's not that he doesn't want the future Inquisitor to die, but it's the person. He doesn't want you to die trying to save everyone if it's for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that he's a sweet boy. That's why I think he has a crush on the Inquisitor no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And that's kind of cute. That's why I'm kind of thinking that's the canon default option, since we have a human female as canon Inquisitor in the default state.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah, I mean that was part of the appeal as well, was that I didn't really have to work towards that romance. He kind of just like he almost instigates it, even though he's not supposed to. With those subtle like one-liners or the subtle smirks. So I found his romance was I just bought it. It just felt authentic. And I recently did a video that I've not uploaded yet, and I was talking about Cullen generally, and especially as a female Inquisitor, even if you're not romancing him, he is surrounded by all of these like powerful women who are very smart and very powerful and very capable, and he is quite happy to take a step back and let them do whatever they need to do. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was really great. And every Cullen romancer will know the prayer scene, for example.
Mhm.
Like, oh my god, like that was just so touching. And in that prayer scene, he says, "Oh, like I must send you to Corypheus."
Yeah.
And he's not trying to say you must not go there or I will go in your place. Like he's not questioning the decision you've made or the destiny that you have. It's more like I feel this need to protect you, but it's not in my control. So how can I help you?
Yeah.
So it was like having a guy protect me without smothering me, which I guess maybe it's reading too much into Dragon Age love interest, but it just resonated with me. I just really loved that aspect of his romance.
When are you gonna bring it to your boyfriend that you're in love with Cullen?
When I did my first playthrough, I didn't know that he spoiler alert proposes in Trespasser. I didn't know he would marry him, and the audible squeal when his voice actor's like, "Marry me," and I made a noise I've never made before, and my boyfriend turned to me like, "You all right?" I was like, "He's asked me to marry him." And I remember getting this really strange look, and I was just so elated, and I was all for it. I was, yes, let's get married. Oh, let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. Yes, thank you. Well, I'm keen.
A little question for you, but I think that I already know the answer. Did you help him with stopping the delirium or not?
So I actually, when I first did my first playthrough and that decision came up, I was so invested in the romance, I didn't want to get it wrong. So I had, I mean, the choice now seems obvious, but at the time it wasn't. Because he was saying, "Oh, I want to take lyrium to be the best I can be for the Inquisition."
Oh gosh.
For me personally, I was like, "No, like you've done so well. You shouldn't take it." But I didn't know if it was more important what he wanted or what I wanted. So I did do a Google and I did read. I think there was one Reddit post that I think someone commented like, "You would have to be insane to let him take lyrium."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
If you want a broken heart, do this. If you want a broken heart, do it. That's all.
Yeah, so without really understanding why, I did not let him take lyrium. I said, "You're stronger than that, blah, blah, blah." And like, thank goodness, because I know what those post-Trespasser credits look like.
I don't even think you can like continue the romance if you keep him on lyrium. I think
you can marry. You can marry him.
You can.
You can. I think you can.
I don't think you can. Like he's so far gone in Trespasser. Like I don't.
Oh, maybe that's.
I've never done any.
I think in the guide it says like if you keep him on lyrium, you can't romance him any further.
I've never done anything but make him quit lyrium. So, are you telling me that, like, in fucking Trespasser, if he keeps taking lyrium, he's, like, fucked up?
Oh my god!
Oh god! Do you really want to get spoiled?
No,
you can tell me, because I'm never gonna do it.
He actually leaves the Inquisition and everything behind him, and he dies under a bridge.
Oh no!
As a lyrium addict.
Wait, does it show? Wait, but in Trespasser, does it? In Trespasser, is he fucked up?
There. He's your commander, it's fine. But, I mean, I haven't done it personally, I've just seen the credit, but I know post-Trespasser, Scout Harding is in Val Shevin, I think it is, and she finds this homeless beggar on the street, and it turns out it's Cullen.
Oh, no.
And his lyrium addiction sent him kind of crazy, and now he's homeless begging on the street, and Scout Harding either gives him coin, or she gives him a quick death. And we don't know which one it is. I think you can headcanon which one it is.
Oh, my poor boy.
So I have done it. I have done it because worst playthrough. In Trespasser, you can talk to him, and he's completely gone. Like he is no longer like he kind of remembers that he's been at the Winter Palace. He's not all there. He's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's super heartbreaking.
Okay.
I couldn't.
I'm curious, but I don't want to be the one to do it. I think
I mean, if you don't want to do it, there are videos online.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I'm not doing it myself. I couldn't possibly. Oh my god.
Yeah, never do a worst playthrough because every single choice is just it's hard.
When I think that already thinking that when Solas cut you on Trespasser, you lose your wedding ring, it made me so upset, but thinking about doing this, I can't do that to Colin.
Yeah.
Already going back to him saying, I lost the wedding ring, killed me, I don't want to kill him with lyrium.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I know, like, because some people really don't like Cullen, but I just thought he was just a great...
I don't have any problem with that. I don't know why you wouldn't like him, to be honest.
Yeah, he was my initial playthrough and still, like, quote-unquote, my headcanon romance type of, like...
He's close second to my heart. He's very close second, with Dorian being the third, but I like him, and he's present in all the 3 games. Like, he's quite important. He was there all the time.
Which is why I would literally love to see... I mean, I don't think he will be, but I would love him to be a Dragon Age 4. But I just don't think they can do it.
I really don't hope so, because it would just mean that Colin is cursed.
Yeah, I don't see him being in the next game at all.
Yeah, I hope not, because at this point I would just kill Colin to make sure nothing happens anymore. Like, the poor guy was there for the 5th Blight, for the Kirkwood Dawnfall, and for Inquisition. Like, dude, what did you do in your life for this?
But you have to have ending, right? Like, he ends up with your... Like, if you romance him, he's with you, and you've got little Mabari, and you're meeting his sister, and he's introducing you to the family, and you're, like, living in your house doing good deeds, and it's like that is just such a nice ending for him. I just wanted more. Like, I just wanted... I was not done with that romance in my head. I was like, right, and what happened to us next?
Now, where's our 20 children?
That's where fanfic comes in. That's where fanfic
Right. Yeah, but yeah, that's still, like, across all the games, that was my favorite romance, and it continues to be. I just love his character, and his voice is just so perfect.
Yeah. It's buttery smooth.
Just crazy. It really is. Like, I don't know anything else like it. It's just, yeah. I could go on for hours, but I won't.
Okay. Well, I think we've gone on for a while now. I think we should probably shut it down here. Thank you, all 3 of you. Thank you all so much for coming on with me and talking. I've had a great time. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad to have you guys. All right. Well, we're heading on out. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.